Hello and welcome to this brief slide deck to introduce Thrive's carbon reduction plan and the steps you can take to reduce your building's environmental and carbon impact. So why might you want to undertake a carbon reduction plan? It's a really good opportunity to evidence what you're currently doing across a range of environmental responses in your building and your work. It enables you to consider what changes you can make, not only in terms of energy consumption, but also across travel, food, waste, also IT provision and finance to complete a much bigger picture of your climate response. It enables you to think about how you can increase your sphere of influence, how you can encourage others amongst your user groups, staff, volunteers and community to take some of these steps. And it allows you to set some goals for when you will do this by. So earlier this year, in May 2025, we visited On Your Bike to find out how they had used support from Thrive to write their carbon reduction plan and how they were getting on with the steps they identified. So click here to watch the film. Before you get started with your carbon reduction plan, it might just help to very briefly outline some of the definitions you'll encounter. You might hear a lot of some talk around scope 1, 2 and 3 emissions. So just very briefly to say that scope 1 emissions come directly from your operations. So for community and voluntary groups, this is only likely to affect those who are running a fleet of vehicles. So it comes from the direct emissions from those vehicles themselves. Your scope 2 emissions are going to be based around your energy usage. And then scope 3 is pretty much everything else around your supply chain, waste management, your travel and transport, and food choices. So your carbon reduction plan offers you a really good opportunity to capture your baseline data for your carbon impact, your carbon footprint. We'll be sending out a ready reckoner, which has been developed with the Centre for Sustainable Energy to help calculate the carbon impact of your scope 2 emissions. So those are emissions associated with your energy usage. For your scope 3 emissions, these are harder to capture, but we do suggest that you choose a tool and stick with it for consistency. So a couple of examples here. 360 Carbon is a free-to-use online tool available to churches, faith groups and charities. And there's also the World Wildlife Fund's footprint calculator, which is for individuals looking to calculate their baseline. So this is an example of the template that you will be filling in. We'll provide you with a blank template as well as an example that's already been filled in. And we're going to go through each of the emission elements in turn shortly to see what's most important to buildings and where you can make the most change and impact. And it allows you to make an action plan, which is a really creative tool for change. The quote here is from Taunton Heritage Trust, who completed the plan in last year's phase of the Decarb Somerset project. So the next few slides are going to work through each of the emission elements in turn and just outline some of the prompts you might want to ask yourself as you're considering the actions you might take. Energy, of course, is the biggest of the, your biggest scope 2 emission. So have a think about who your supplier is, when you last shopped around for better deals. If there's somebody with a greener track record, can you switch to renewable energy? And how much are you monitoring your usage? Those are just some of the questions you might want to ask yourself there. For waste management, you might want to look at reducing the amount of waste you produce, ways that you can recycle more effectively. You might also want to consider if there are new activities that you can put on to address waste management. So looking at hosting a repair cafe or a seed swap in your building. Water is a finite resource, and water literacy is now becoming as hot a topic as carbon literacy has been in the past. So have a think about where you can increase the efficiency of your water usage and raise awareness of what's at stake with our water usage in our buildings. You might want to look at some water literacy training to offer to your staff. Or make sure that you have fitted a water meter or any water efficiency tools that you can put into your current system. So your carbon reduction plan isn't just about what happens in your building, it's also about how people travel to it and how you travel to other events as well. So be sure to promote some active travel routes, some car sharing initiatives, and start by capturing mileage for key events. So for example, when your staff are travelling to events or when you're inviting people to attend something in your building, set a way of gathering the data of how far people have travelled, and then you're able to set a target to reduce that. When you're considering your food and drink choices, consider how you might be able to source more local, more seasonal produce. When you're offering catering options, you might want to create a preferred suppliers list for people using your venue. And again, you might want to look at creating new activities around food and drink, such as a food surplus pantry or community growing schemes to improve food resilience in your community. So websites, AI and data storage on the cloud all use vast quantities of electricity and water. So one of the really quick wins you can adopt in your carbon reduction plan is to encourage regular inbox purges so that people aren't storing more than they need to on their laptops. You might want to encourage other people to take that same action by amending your email footer. You could shop around for better, greener online storage solutions as well. And alongside that, consider how you purchase and dispose of old hardware, whether you can hold a tech amnesty or whether you can host something like the Fixie Van for people to come and donate old IT that is not currently in use. So ethical banking has a range of definitions, but it's generally considered to be choosing a bank that follows a set of principles or goals in an attempt to improve the environment and society. So this could be a bank that refuses to invest in the mining of fossil fuels, or one that provides affordable loans to local charities. So maybe just have a think about where you invest and whether you're happy with how your money is being used by your bank. So just to talk through the next steps available to you now through the Decarb Somerset project, you may have already completed your DIY energy check. If you haven't, there are resources and help available for you to do this, and it's a piece of work looking at the fabric and the usage of your building. If you would like to book any free one-to-one help to help you finish your carbon reduction plan, please do get in touch because you can use these two documents to apply for a fully funded energy audit before the 6th of January 2026. If you are interested in applying for one of the small number of fully funded energy audits we have available, please click on the link here. It will take you to a SWAY document which outlines more about the application process and links to the guidance and application form for you to fill in. But the key dates you need to be aware of are that applications open on the 15th of October. As I said, there is free one-to-one support available to help you with your application, so please do get in touch with the team before applications close in the new year on the 6th of January. The audits will be delivered by our partners E3 Sustainability, and they will be delivered by the end of February 2026. We had a great piece of feedback last year from Birchfield Community Association, who had undertaken this work, and I think it really encapsulates how every aspect of a building, of a group's activity, can have an impact on climate and carbon emissions, and how this part of the programme can really help you identify the improvements that you can make. Thank you very much for joining me on this whistle-stop tour of the carbon reduction plan. Please don't forget to watch the film from On Your Bike, and also don't hesitate to reach out to the Thrive team working on the Decarb Somerset project to help you finish either the carbon reduction plan or to do your DIY energy check. Our email address is decarb@somersetrcc.org.uk. Many thanks.